Lorraine Robinson, we are live.
Colin Manford, we are live, and you are still not cool enough to do your P. Diddy kind of hand signals.
It's all subjective, Lorraine.
It freaks me out a little bit.
I've got natural hips.
Okay, well on that one. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Plain Comedy.
Episode 5.
Episode 5, in conjunction with Accounts Direct. Look at what they do for us. It's amazing. We're so grateful. And we love Stephen at Accounts Direct. We're plugged? We're plugged.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
We're going to go straight into our guest this evening.
Yes, we are.
We are, because we have got someone very exciting with us this evening. Good friend of yours?
Very good friend of mine, yeah. We go way back.
Friend of mine now?
No.
Oh. What do I have to do?
Absolutely, Lorraine.
Are bastards.
Let's pinky it out. There we go.
Let's COVID pinky it.
COVID pinky. Okay.
Yeah.
COVID pinky. Sounds like a side effect.
It does actually.
Can we just say that's the name of today's show?
COVID pinky.
COVID pinky, episode 5.
We'll forget that when we're coming up with it.
Yeah, we will.
Freddie, I want to introduce you with a quote that we found that we both just loved, didn't we?
It's a great quote.
Oh, really?
Listen to this.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Freddie Quinne has a penis that is... No, I'm only kidding. It doesn't say that. It says, Freddie Quinne is a comedic powerhouse. Love that. Regularly performing his shamelessly opinionated, no-holds-barred stand-up at the biggest comedy clubs in this country.
So the comedic powerhouse makes me sound like I'm a remnant of the Industrial Revolution or something like that. Like I'm an old mill.
I love that though. I think it's
my favourite quote comes from a website called Out News Global.
Okay.
That did a disparaging article about me, and at the end of it they said no comedy club with a modicum of decency should ever book this man.
Wow.
And I use that as a quote on posters now.
Yeah. Are you proud of it?
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a great quote.
Well, that intrigues me. I'd be like, why? Why not? You know.
Did your quotes as well? You take what you want out of them. You don't have to use a full quote. I got one ages ago from a certain website that a lot of people don't like. Said that Colin Manford's not very good, so I just chose the very good bit. Thank you very much, mister.
That's what's on our posters, isn't it, for Plain Comedy? Well done. Yeah.
Call myself an award winner as well, but still waiting for it. But who's checking? That's what I say.
There's so many new act awards that you can say multi-award winning and no one's fucking checking.
No
one's checking.
I beat the frog when I first started. That's an award.
That's an award, technically.
I also did the Irish special.
The Irish special?
Because my nana was Irish. Do a lot of Irish acts around, so I got to compete in the Beat the Frog Irish special.
Well, I'll add something else then to your Arsenal this week.
Yes.
Chart topping.
Oh, yeah.
We are chart topping. Our podcast is chart topping this week. We had an email from Apple.
Yeah.
So what chart is it topped?
We don't know. We haven't got a clue.
Okay.
The Apple podcast chart. We're not topped it, we're in it. So we're climbing. So which we should say thank you everyone who left the reviews.
We've topped it.
Yeah,
we've topped it. Yeah.
Top.
I know a friend who has a comedy podcast that is #1 in Kazakhstan for comedy podcasts.
Wow.
How great is that?
How many are they competing with?
I don't imagine any.
I feel like we should go after that market.
100% now.
Yeah, you give me a target.
I will not stop thinking about this now. Let's get to Plain Comedy in Kazakhstan.
Where did we get to?
Oh, so we had 3 today in South Korea.
Really?
We've got South Korea, we've got Germany, 1 in Germany, Canada's got a couple, about 5 in America, so...
It does make you wonder how the hell, like, no offence to you or South Korea, but what are South Koreans possibly getting out of this?
Who cares? Downloads. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm getting obsessed with the numbers though. Every day I'm on Podbean just going, wow, where's next? But it's doing well actually. It's getting there. So thank you everyone who has.
Yeah,
you should do a competition where your first listener in each country gets something.
Yeah, but then we have to give them something.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
We could dedicate the next show to them. That's free.
Could you do like a wall of fame or something like that? Or you could get like a map and every single person...
I've got one of those maps we can scratch up. We'll scratch you off.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
Let's do it. Let's do that. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, talking about reaching far and wide, I'd like to talk about TikTok because did you like that then? Yeah.
That's the link.
That was smooth.
I know. Thank you. That's how I kind of learned about you. Obviously, Colin said you're doing one of the Plain Comedy gigs. It's Freddie Quinne, and I Googled you, and then TikTok came up straight away. Got a little bit obsessed with you on there, so apologies for that. We've actually got one of your fans watching. I'm going to say fan. Martin Roberts is watching, so he'd love it if he said hello to him.
Hi, Martin.
There we go.
I love that. So TikTok, obviously, 12 months ago. Well, maybe a bit more now. It was like for teenage girls, really, wasn't it? That's what I
That's
thought
why I
it
signed up.
I hope there's no police officers listening. Yeah.
This is your interview now, Lorraine.
Yes, hello. For the purpose of this recording, no. So you kind of started at the beginning of lockdown, didn't you? You kind of got on there and
Yeah.
kind of run away with it, really, didn't you? You got a big following straight away.
So I signed up March 2020. I got about 50,000 followers pretty quick. And then I left about June 2020 because at the time it was literally just full of girls dancing, do you know what I mean? And it felt like that's all they wanted the app to be. And so the thing is that you'd make comedy content on there and either it wouldn't get any views or it'd get removed really, really quickly.
Oh, really?
Because they really just didn't know what to do with it. So I ended up leaving and then I rejoined in December 2020 and I've been on it actively ever since. But yeah, it's something changed in that time period where they started to embrace how people were using the app. Because the thing is with TikTok now is that there's loads of sides to it. There's educational videos that come from it. There's podcasts that are on it.
Shout out to all the cleaning hacks on there.
Shitloads of cleaning hacks. Food TikTok is bloody massive.
Sorry, just the hacks that are fascinating. I saw one the other day with a bag of oven chips. And they cut the middle bit out, poured it out, and then tied the bag up.
Oh,
mind blown!
That's really clever.
That's it. Yeah, it's not always.
TikTok does take my life though. I go to bed at I'll go and get in bed early, 10 o'clock, 1:30. I'm still like, it's like a drug.
It's great, isn't it? It's crack for your brain. And the thing with the way that the algorithm works is it recommends videos to you that it thinks you will like. And I'm telling you now, I've never known a more efficient algorithm when it comes to pushing content onto you, because it's like you can't turn away. Every video is like, I like this, I like this.
It draws you in, doesn't it?
And then every once in a while what they'll do, so my For You page is basically like football goals from the Premier League. And then it's occasionally something funny that happened in the Paralympics, and then it's like
it's a bit random.
yeah. It's usually some sort of fail or something like that, and then
Paralympic fail video.
Yeah, something like that, like someone throwing a javelin into their foot and being like, "God, I can't feel it," Never been more grateful to have this, Anyway, so it's that, and then once in a while, what they'll do is they'll throw like a 19-year-old girl doing a dance, or something like that, and they'll go, "Do you want to look at this?" And you go, "Not really," and then that's mostly it. But I'll stay on it for hours and hours. Me, do you know what else I watch loads of? People, TV license people coming to the door and people going, "I don't need a license, I think you'll find under the Magna Carta." For some reason, I like watching bellends pretend to be lawyers on the doorsteps.
I love that.
I didn't even know that existed on there.
Loads, shitloads.
All this evening.
We'll be checking.
Yeah, it's like Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away TikTok.
I love that show.
Well, there's one on BBC One as well called The Sheriffs Are Coming.
Oh, I've seen it.
Which is not quite as, it doesn't have the class of your classic Paul Bohill and Stephen Pinner, but it is worth watching.
There we go.
There's you on your daytime TV.
I see. Can't Pay, We'll Take Away. I served one of them once in a bar I was managing.
Which one did you serve?
Who's the big lad? The big
fat one? Oh yeah, I know. I just call him the Cube. I don't know who he is.
Yeah. Well, do you know what he did? He was at a hotel I was working at, and he was at a function, and one of my staff came up to me and said, "God, that guy's not paid for his bottle of wine." I thought, glorious. Isn't this amazing? So I've gone over and said, "Mate, you're not paid your bill." He's like, "All right." Of course I did. I said, "And if you don't pay, I'm going to take it away." And
really?
That was on TikTok. Wow.
That's one of the moments where you go, this could either be really funny or everyone's going to go, what a knobhead. But luckily, it was both. So
standard night for you then.
Yeah, I take laughter wherever it comes from, to be honest.
Fair enough. So the last time we had a look before, you were on 283,000 followers on TikTok, but you were saying before that you reach millions a week on viewers, don't you?
Yeah, about that. Because the thing is not everybody who views you follows you.
Yeah.
So quite a lot of the times your reach is probably double that. It's probably the reach is probably about 500,000. But
wow,
It's cool. It's a nice thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I can, record a video in my kitchen and, it can have, 1 million views in 24 hours or whatever.
So you did that so you got into that during the lockdowns then? Is that how you started doing it? So now that hopefully we're back to normal and restrictions will be lifted, is it going to help? Because I imagine you're going to go on tour at some point.
So I recorded my first gig back. I recorded, and I stuck a 60-second clip on TikTok, and the gig was 200 people in a tent.
Yeah.
And I stuck it on TikTok, and within 48 hours, it had 1.5 million.
Wow.
So it's just insane. The numbers are insane.
You just got to just nail that mark, ain't you?
And it's learning how to then get them over to your dedicated sites then, isn't it? So for like subscriptions and things like that, because that's how people reach you.
Yeah. That's totally it. So I'm working at the moment on producing more content for YouTube, more content for Instagram, and a podcast as well. And I'm trying to basically use TikTok as... So for me, for my content, TikTok is kind of like, when you go to a supermarket and there's some prick on the door with free samples of stuff.
Yep.
And they go, do you want a tiny little bit of this? And you go, yeah, all right. Oh, yeah, that's all right, that. And they go, oh, well, we've got a big stock of it here. Do you want to put it in your shopping basket? And maybe 1 in 10 will go, yeah, all right, okay, cool. That's kind of like how I'm using TikTok for my content. It's the little bite that you get, and if you really like it, then I've got more content elsewhere.
I think TikTok, though, during lockdown was used as a great pivot for a lot of businesses to kind of go... Because you're a business, and essentially, I know you're a comedian, you're an entertainer, but it's a business, isn't it? You're not doing it, I know I'm sure you are doing it for the love of it, but it's got to have a monetary kind of effect. And it's a great way to pivot to go, this is now what I'm doing, and I'm focusing everything there. And then when we come back, you can all then come with me and stuff. And I love that about, there's a lot of crap on TikTok, and there's a lot of negative hate and things that have just been ridiculous on there. There's a song on it at the moment, I can't remember what it's called, but it's all about, have you seen the state of a body or something?
Oh yeah. Have you seen the state of her body? If I fuck her, I ain't wearing a Johnny.
Are you just like...
Adiola with a ball of the beast. Yeah,
like
man.
middle-aged couples, I don't even think they know what the words are, doing dances to it, and I'm thinking, do you understand what they're saying on that? But I don't know if that's just me being a bit kind of fussy on that. But
oh no, I totally get what you say. I mean, look, for me personally, I never wanted to do anything like social media-wise. It's just never been anything that's interested me. But one of the things that I've learned from this pandemic is so I came into the pandemic only wanting to be a stand-up comedian that does live gigs, don't have an interest in anything else. That's all I wanted to do. All the comics that had side hustles, that had a YouTube channel, that had a podcast, that had other irons in the fire, when lockdown hit, look, to them, not being able to do live gigs was like losing a leg. It impaired them, it made it harder for them, but they didn't die. They still had other things that they could do. They had other irons in the fire, they had other ways of making money and making content.
Yeah.
But for me, for somebody who's just focused on my comedy career for 10 years, when lockdown happened, it was like having my head chopped off.
Yeah.
I had nothing else, and I had to start from scratch. So one of the things that I've learned is actually diversifying and being on different platforms is a really good way of sort of protecting yourself against sort of weathering the storms that you get as a self-employed person.
I think that kind of goes back down to that powerhouse of you've took your live, which you were really successful with, and you've had to start again and mine it all and do all that, and you've become a powerhouse on TikTok, and you've done that. So I'm having that word, you're having it. No, but I think you have, I think you're one of the great successes of what TikTok can be in the industry that you're in. And I think it's great that you guys had that platform, because it was a bit of a shitty time for you all, kind of thing, especially with we've got Steve Shaniaski on in a few weeks that, was one of those that when they said go and retrain and do something else, he did.
Yeah.
But the one thing everyone did during lockdown was they all turned to the arts, entertain us. Now we need entertaining. Then they're going, yeah, but if you're in that, can you go and do something else as well? And then you're like, well, you got to pick what you want us to do. Well, not us,
they dropped the massive bollock, didn't they, by saying that?
Of course they did. But thankfully, people like you used it as a platform to continue.
The thing is people are going to look back at the time that they had the 14 or 15 months that we had, and they are going to feel sad because they are going to go, what did I do? What did I accomplish during that time? When in actuality, in March 2020, nobody turned around and said, look, you guys are going to be fucked for a year and a bit. So strap yourselves in, get a nice book, because you're going to have a lot of time on your hand. Nobody said that. What they said is 4 more weeks, 3 more weeks, 6 more weeks. And so in your head, as human beings, we think, well, I'm not going to learn how to code because we're going to be fine in 4 weeks. So we never had 15 months. We always had 4 more weeks that just added up to 15
Which I think
months.
psychologically probably got a lot of people through, rightly or wrongly. I don't think most people would have coped if they were like, see you in 2 years, have a great time.
It's like you do with kids on a long journey in the back of the
5
car,
minutes.
with just a little bit further.
Just a bit further,
Just a little bit further. Because if you turn round in your Honda Civic and go, shut the fuck up, it's an hour and a half away.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Just shut up. Go to, there's an iPad there, just watch fucking anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have that when I was a kid. You had to look out the window and
With
play
no
I Spy.
aircon, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna
come
say that,
on,
yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
And no seatbelts, but that's a whole other
We had to
kind of thing.
wind a window down like that. You know know how fucking lucky you are. You know, you don't do that. You just go just a little bit more, just a little
Thank
bit
God
more.
for TikTok when it comes to childcare. That's all I'm going to say. That's more about me as a parent. But you two go back quite a while, really, don't you? You're quite in with the Manfords, aren't you?
Well, Freddy actually did. So I did a gig in my mum's living room. Mummy Manford's Comedy
my
Club.
child does. I can't say gigs. It's more like entertains me kind of thing. Is that what you did?
So we did. Do you know how that came about? I don't know if I told you how that came about. I was at a gig and took a picture. It was like one in Tilsley or something. It's an old school pub, and I think it was Phil Walker just said something about. Is that your mum's living room? Just like these weird curtains and stuff. It was like a passing joke, but I'm not someone who's. It just lands with me and go. I could do a gig in my mum's living room. Don't tell me I can't. And then suddenly I was like, a month later, I was like, well, I signed it to a charity, so it's quirky. Jason wasn't a fan of it. But then I was like, so we had, I think it was Barry Dodds, Steve Bujaya, yeah. And obviously, because it was for charity, my mum made him all a Sunday dinner for
So you will
payment.
work for lunch.
Yeah, well, I was actually terrified about that because I don't like eating other people's food. So that scared me.
Hang on, we'll come back to that.
I'm a really fussy eater, insanely fussy. And if I just, like, when people cook for me, it gives me anxiety because because the thing is what happens is if I say I'm a fussy eater, what people do is they go, oh, well, you like the way that I do it.
Right, okay,
and it's like, well, I know that I won't. Like, I 98% know that I won't. And it's not because you can't cook. You probably really can. It's because I'm...
So what is it? You don't like
weird.
certain things or you just don't like other people?
Texture.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm huge... Texture is like a massive thing with me. So, like, for example, I've never in my life tried baked beans.
What? How did you get through your childhood?
By not eating baked beans.
God.
I didn't know that was a rite of passage.
Yeah, it is. But it's more, how did your mother get you through childhood?
So
That is quite stunning, actually.
So I can't eat them. I just can't because the sauce is like mucusy in my brain.
I know what you mean.
And the bean is kind of like no, like yeah.
I'm saying mushrooms.
Can't eat mushrooms unless they are porcini mushrooms or shiitake mushrooms.
Oh, the posh ones.
And they've been chopped in a certain way. So
Oh
that's
my
another
God.
thing as well. I can only have them chopped in a certain way. Strawberries, I can't eat strawberries because one time I was eating a strawberry and I thought, I bet this is what it would taste like if you bit into a tumour. And then ever since then, I just can't eat them because I think of tumours.
Do you know what I'm with? I can put myself off something like that. I can have a thought and then it's with me forever. But mine's a bit more like I could never eat an oyster because I just think, ugh.
Yeah.
Could you do an oyster?
Oyster, fine. Absolutely
What?
fine.
What?
So-
You won't eat baked beans, but you'll eat an oyster?
Yeah, totally.
You are so
I know.
He's got a
highbrow.
sophisticated palate.
He is, he's so
That's it.
highbrow.
It's honestly just, but I know that it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like so here's the thing. So when I go for a carvery, I have Toby Carvery. I have the most ridiculous carvery order ever. I love carveries, but I haven't gone during the pandemic because I know that because now what will happen in the carvery during the pandemic is you're not allowed to put it on
they
yourself.
serve you, yeah.
They do it, and I know that they will look at me like such a piece of shit. So this is my carvery order, right?
Right,
Okay.
go on.
So I go up there. What meat do you think I have?
I'm going to say like the
Gammon.
turkey or something.
You're going to say gammon.
I'm
You're
going to say the
turkey.
white meat, yeah, turkey.
No meat. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a veggie carvery.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not veggie. I just don't like the idea of meat that's been fucking under a fucking tanning booth for 8 hours or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't like the idea of it, so I'm not having it, right?
Okay.
So veggie carvery, immediately they look at you like you're weird, and so I use that opportunity to say 2 Yorkshire puddings,
Okay.
and they always go yes just to get rid of me. So 2 Yorkshire puddings, and then I have roast potatoes.
Good shout.
I have mash.
Okay. Doubling up on the potato.
Yep. I have stuffing, but I have a mash-sized portion of stuffing.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm a fan.
And then I have gravy, and then I have mint sauce,
Yep.
and nothing else.
No vegetables on that?
No vegetables.
You literally have just had...
Potatoes on a
Yeah.
plate. Yes.
Yeah, with Yorkshire pudding.
That is correct.
Wow.
It's insane.
Take it on a plate. I don't know why I just started thinking of a film. With
Snakes on a plane.
That's what I thought about.
I had enough of these motherfucking potatoes on this motherfucking plate.
I wonder if we could get you a sponsorship with Toby Carvery.
Fucking hell. But here's the thing, right, is so my Toby Carvery near me has started doing mac and cheese, right,
Nice.
which I
Controversial.
have tried, but occasionally the gravy will touch the mac and cheese, in which case all of the mac and cheese
Is vomited.
now contaminated and cannot be eaten.
Wow.
So I don't... so what I do sometimes is I fucking hell.
What the fuck's going on?
So what I do sometimes is I try and use the stuffing
Yeah.
as basically
wall, like
well, I would like to think of it as like a flood barrier. So what I do is I sort of position the stuffing and the mashed potato in a way that allows the gravy to pool, and then the mac and cheese is safe.
So you eat the mac and cheese first, get that out of the way. Right, okay,
Yeah.
stop
I know that
contamination.
I am insane. I know that this is stupid. I
Well,
cannot help it.
I don't know what it is, to be fair.
I didn't think we'd be talking about this pre-show.
No
as
idea,
well,
but
so
I'm
it's
glad
fine.
we
No,
have,
it was,
yeah.
Here's the thing: is I
put it-
cook a lot of my own food as well, so I'm quite good at cooking because I
You've got
like
no
it done
choice.
my way. This is it. So I made what did I make recently? Do you know coca noodles?
No.
Those little noodles in a packet. They're like super noodles but better. You know them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. I made ramen with them. It looks fucking fit. Made ramen with fillet steak. It was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
How was you all right? Was you okay with the noodles and the steak together? Is that...
Yeah. Do you want me to
that
show,
okay?
do you want me to show you a picture?
Go for it, yeah, why not?
Sure.
But you've travelled a lot with your comedy, so how do you cope with food when you're away? And are you up for trying new things?
What? Sorry.
Are you up for trying new things and stuff when you're abroad and you?
So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that
that
look
does
good,
look amazing.
though.
Which camera should we put that on?
That is, point at that one.
This one. Stick it on here. Let's see if we can get it. That does look amazing. But then I'm surprised with the egg.
What, sorry.
I'm surprised with the egg.
How are you? In what way?
Which this one?
The middle camera.
Oh,
there.
sorry,
Middle
mate.
one. Look at this.
There you go. There you go. I'll show you. Look, I took several pictures of it. because, you know.
That's impressive.
Oh yeah, I cook like a fucking boss.
And then go Toby Carvery for mac and
Well-
cheese. Look
well,
at that
this is
zooming in.
it.
That's brilliant. Looks awesome.
But when you do like enough cooking and stuff like that, oh shit, I'll send you this one as well. So
we'll post these up. 'cause,
I make as well. I make a delicious poached egg. Look at that.
Yeah,
Bad boy.
that looks
That's
like.
with paprika on top as
Oh,
well.
you're just you are highbrow. You are
Mate,
highbrow. Yeah.
paprika poached eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look,
Nice.
again, I'm really weird about like food and stuff, and so I'm just weird. And so
I like it.
when someone offers to make me food, in my head I'm like, I just.
I'm glad we only offered you a coffee then for our pre-show chat.
It terrifies me. It's like,
It's a thing.
can't do it.
Wow.
Can't do
There
it.
you go.
Well, are you going to be talking about food? Are you going to do an edition on your new podcast that you've got coming out? I know. Brilliant. I'm just amazing.
Seamless.
Yeah.
This is Lorraine does all the links. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a new podcast coming out. It's called Pigoted, and if you want to sign up for it, it is on. If you go to pigoted.com, there's a link in the description. Maybe there is.
Yeah, there is.
Sweet. If you click on
Craig's
that,
saying there is, yeah.
if you pop your email address in there, then I will send you an email as soon as the podcast is live. So we're batch recording at the moment. We're recording loads of episodes so we can release them, and I'll send you an episode. I'll send you an email with a link to to the episode and you can listen to it. And if you like, you can subscribe to it. I'm not going to spam your inbox. 6 days to
like
go.
spam. He doesn't
None of
like
that.
it,
No.
But the concept of your podcast, because we only learned about this before, it sounds amazing. We can use the word glorious. It
Glorious.
sounds glorious. So it's 2 comics. Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
2 comics and an expert, isn't it?
Yeah, so we get 2 comedians and an expert from the fields of philosophy or science or sociology or psychology or economics or anything like that. So we've had behavioural evolutionary psychologists on, we've had economists on, we've had sort of politicians, climate change, environmentalists and stuff. We've had loads of people.
How do you work the comedy into that? If someone's talking about something really serious and you guys, because like Colin does it all the time, and how do you do that and get away with it? You're having a really serious conversation and he'll just come in with a killer line and no one's offended. If I did it, everyone would be like, can you take it seriously, please? But you do it in a way that's like, oh, I never thought about it like that, thanks.
I think I come across as I'm just a lovable loser, aren't I? Going, he's harmless.
He's not understanding climate change.
He's harmless,
this
this guy.
Well, I think it's one of those where I wanted to make so I like podcasts where I learn stuff. So when I'm in the car, I don't listen to like 3 comedians talking because I'm about to go to a gig where there are going to be 3 comedians talking. I don't want to. For me, it'd be like if you worked in a call center and you started like taking calls on your way, like you started listening to your own hold music
holiday,
on the way there. Do you know what I mean? Like just insane. So what I do instead is I listen to stuff that is informative, and then I get myself in like a different headspace. But the problem is that every informative podcast is dry as shit. It's all like,
especially if you're driving for a while.
Oh,
as well.
good Lord, exactly. And it's all like 3 middle-aged 50-year-old philosophers who are like, well, I think you'll find that Kante says it, but he doesn't do it. And they go,
It's a great impression, though.
It is. Well, it's right up my street, that kind of stuff.
So
comedy and education.
Do you have a rough time frame when you plan to release it?
Definitely be out this month.
Cool,
what I'm
okay.
doing is I'm batch recording at the moment, so we're going to get 5 or 6 episodes, like a buffer, because like having to like get experts and stuff like that is just they're hard work.
Cool.
Right, well, do you know
Gigs
what?
coming up. Anything you want to plug before we go? We're running out of time.
No, podcast. Listen to it.
All about the podcast, isn't it? So Freddy was the first official comedian to do playing comedy in Ramsbottom, which is now a regular night. So we might as well plug our nights now. We've got playing comedy nights in Ramsbottom, Stratford, Northern, and potentially in the gay village in Manchester. So that's
we're growing.
That's exciting.
Guys.
So get Freddy on TikTok. Definitely subscribe to picketed.com. It's going to be an amazing thing. So best of luck with that, Freddy. It's going to be amazing.
Cheers, man.
We'll definitely see you on the circuit.
If you're listening now, tune in to Trigger Warning at 10 p.m. Is that, am I right there, guys?
Live on
Live,
Alt Feed.
yeah.
Subscribe to that YouTube
Definitely
channel as well, please, because
subscribe
we're all
to
on there.
Alt
We're a happy family.
We are a little family of network there, aren't we?
Yeah, and again, people who are listening to the podcast, leave us a nice review. That'd be really nice.
5-star review,
5-star review.
please.
Say some nice words about us. And apart from anything else, should we plug our own socials? Colin Manford on Twitter, Facebook, the TikTok.
The TikTok. How middle-aged does he sound?
The TikTok. My niece is going like that. You on TikTok? And what's the TikTok? I don't get it.
Like
But now I will. I'm going to study it. So maybe we'll do a TikTok before you go home as well, Freddie, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
We'll do one for playing comedy.
We'll do him eating some baked beans.
No, not a chance.
We'll do it to eat some beans. Right, well, we'll start wrapping up. Lorraine Robinson.
From Collective Travel.
From Collective Travel.
go,
Book your holidays with Collective Travel. I will see you next week when we've got Alison June Smith joining us.
We have, and Freddie Quinne, thank you so much. You've been amazing.
Thanks for having us.
Hey!
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.